Now 250,000. Now I'm going to get 275. I'm going to get 275. 3. Now 300,000. Now 3 1/4. 325. I'm going to get 3 1/4. I'm going to get 325. Now half. And welcome to another edition of the Mike McGavel Jones Show from Dallas, Texas. We're at Lincoln Center. Center of the universe is what I like to say. Right here at the LBJ Freeway and the North Dallas Tollway. We have a great show today. First, we want to say goodbye to 2019 and welcome to 2020. We're ending a decade and starting a new one. We've got a special show today, and we have our friends from Catholic Charities of Dallas here, and we're going to talk about a special event that we have coming up as we go into the new year. It's our first fundraiser of the year, and so we'd like to say Happy New Year almost, and welcome our friends at the table today. We have Kathy O'Neill. She's the Senior Marketing and Development Officer with Catholic Charities here in Dallas, and we also have Megan Martinez. Welcome, Megan. And we have Michele Stephens, and they are chairs for the live auction for the Bishop's Gala that's coming up here very soon. We're going to talk about the specifics. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you for having us this morning.
We're glad to have you here. And, of course, Megan, you and Michele are basically the co-chairs for the live auction. We're glad to have you guys here, too.
We're very, very glad to be here.
You know, we do a lot of fundraising events here in Dallas, and I've been blessed to do this for 42 years now, which is kind of crazy because I'm only like 29. But I want to talk about the Bishop's Gala and, you know, what that is going to all be about, the specifics about it. But I also want to start out, and Kathy, this is probably something that you can start by talking a little bit about the programs that we have. And I have, it's an astounding list of things that you do for your clients at Catholic Charities. My notes tell me that you've helped over 50,000 individuals and families in North Texas with different programs. You want to talk about some of the programs?
I'd love to, Mike. And 50,000 was literally just last year. Catholic Charities is one of those very big multi-service kinds of charities that helps everyone, no matter where they're from, what religion they are, how old they are, what gender they are, it doesn't matter. If you're in need, Catholic Charities wants to help you. And some of the major areas that we work within are, first of all, we've got some incredible new mobile food pantries that actually go into the food deserts of Dallas now. We're partnered with the North Texas Food Bank, and we're taking healthy food. We're talking meats and vegetables and fruits and dairy into those food deserts to the folks who couldn't get to some of the other food pantries and food banks, et cetera. That's one part for us. And then in addition to that, homelessness. We have truly an incredible template on how to help those who are homeless in our St. Jude Center that's now a year old. We have 104 senior homeless folks that we've given permanent housing to, and it's incredibly successful. The attrition rate was almost nil, which is unusual in a homeless situation like that. These are really good individuals who are so grateful for finding permanent homes at St. Jude Center. And then education, as you well know, with a lot of young kids enter kindergarten so far behind because they can't speak, read, or write any English. We've got some incredible early education programs, and we make certain that not only it's a dual generation program with the caregiver and the individual children learning to read, write, and speak English, and gives them a head up when they come into kindergarten, and the caregiver gets to get a better paid job or even just get a job because now they're equipped with English and will also contribute to the community in a much stronger way. And beyond that, Mike, everything from refugee services, adoption, we're the only Catholic adoption agency in the state of Texas, and a lot of other services, but those are the primary ones that we focus on. And we're truly focused on poverty. That's what the benefits and the proceeds will go to from this year's, the 2020 Bishop's Gala. It
really amounts to people in need.
Exactly.
And, you know, before we came on the air, and we are live, and we want to welcome everyone. And we have people literally watching in South Africa and Europe, and Mexico. I mean, everywhere. It's amazing what you can do with a podcast now. So not only are we talking to North Texas and trying to reach out to the people that could help Catholic Charities, but just know that we have a much larger audience than that. And I'm sure there are some people that are in need that are watching this as well, because the way social media works today is incredible. It's just incredible. You can reach so many people. Before I get into the deep dive into the actual event, I want to know, I always like to know about the people that I'm talking to. So tell me a little bit of background, like where did you grow up? Where did you come from? How did you end up here?
I grew up in Corpus Christi, a very large family, 6 brothers and a sister. And my poor dad, we all kept going to college, he says, but nobody seems to graduate. We all went on for higher degrees. And I went to the University of Texas at Austin, then got my MBA at SMU. And I was in 25 years in the private country club industry, and started my own consulting business, and then decided I really wanted to give back to the nonprofit community. Whatever talents I had that I could apply, I did so at Catholic Charities Dallas. So I've been there for the last, going on 3 years now, and really loved the people I'm working with, the people I'm working for, and the people that we're helping. Tremendous donors here, not only in Dallas, but people around the world send us donations to assist with all of the programs, because our reach goes so far beyond just Dallas itself.
So what's your long-term goal? How long do you want to do this?
As long as the Lord allows me to do it.
Okay, and Megan, tell me how you got, tell me where you grew up and where you got started. I liked Kathy's answer was perfect, so what about yours? You can't say the same thing she did. Okay.
I grew up in Houston, Texas, and when I was a junior in high school, we moved to Corsicana, Texas, which is at the very end of the Dallas Diocese.
Now, where did you go to high school?
St. Agnes in Houston, and then the public high school in Corsicana. There was no Catholic high school.
No, I know, yeah.
But Corsicana is at the very end of the Dallas Diocese, and that's another important item, I guess, of Catholic Charities, is that we do serve 9 counties, as far down as Corsicana and as far up as Sherman. So my family, my mom and dad were both very philanthropic in Houston and carried it forward to Corsicana and instilled in all my brothers and me that you give back.
What did your family do?
My dad was in the newspaper business.
Really?
And my mom raised money. She did. So we all had it instilled in us that you have to give.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to, I said yes once to Catholic Charities.
It only took once?
It only took once, yes.
And so how long have you been involved with this diocese and this specific, I would say, I know it's 9 counties, but, we're working off of Mockingbird.
Yes.
So, and I assume that you live fairly close.
I do. I've been with Catholic Charities a long, long time. 10, 12 years, more than that probably.
So did you start out as a basic volunteer?
Yes.
And what did that entail? Who were you helping?
There was the early childhood, that we had a center called the Sainer Center, which was a education daycare for South Dallas, and the little ones graduated into DISD, and someone called and said, "Would you do the graduation?" Oh yeah, sure. Then they said, "Oh, we forgot to tell you the mayor's coming to promote." So I gathered all my buddies, and we got backpacks filled with school supplies and did a graduation dinner for all of the parents and the children at the Sainer Center.
And then that progressed into what else? What did you do after that?
I worked there a lot, and I worked at the Adoption and Pregnancy and Adoption Center, helping with the closet, Christmas distribution, just hands-on, lots of hands-on. And then I think in 2013, Development asked David and I to chair the gala. And we did that. And then I got on the board.
And Megan was on the board.
Trust me, having been a foundation member with our organization, I think I was on a board for 21 years. And if you ever say yes once, and of course, then you start understanding exactly what, you can be a member of 50 organizations and never see the inner workings. But once you've been a part of the actual giving back and being a part of it, well, then you feel awkward if you're not involved.
Yes.
It's like there's an empty place in the heart, right?
Yes.
Michelle, tell me about how you came into the world. Where were you born, and where did you grow up?
Yes, I'm from Jefferson City, Missouri, and my husband's from St. Louis, Missouri.
Capital.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the
the
capital
capital of
Missouri.
Jefferson City. Yes, absolutely. And then we lived in San Antonio for 15 years, and then in Dallas 10. But I'm bringing my husband into it because he went to Jesuit schools, and the whole thing with being a man for others was so important to him. And anyway, he got on the board in San Antonio, and then he's on the board here in Dallas. But so he helped get me involved, and you say yes one time, and you just love the organization and all that they do. I helped a little bit with refugees and helping women to fill out applications for jobs in English and
Opportunities.
right, and helped with the Christmas work, and it's just been great.
So how long have you been active with the Dallas Diocese?
Probably about 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're co-chairs of this great event, and I'm sure it was easy to say yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
All right, Kathy, let's talk about the Bishop's Gala.
Let's do.
Now, I have had the privilege of doing it before, but it's been many years ago. And
we got you back as quickly as we could, Mike.
well, I appreciate that. And as you know, we've had multiple meetings. I've probably been more involved with Catholic Charities as far as meetings and phone calls and emails than any group I've ever worked with before. If that tells you the amount of involvement, I mean, and people know that if you want me involved, I'll be as involved as you like for me to be. Some groups, they put everything on autopilot and just assume and hope for the best. And but I've really enjoyed working with you guys on the actual event, the timelines, what we're doing. Describe to your best ability, what is the Bishop's Gala?
The Bishop's Gala for us is a time, it's once a year, and for us it is our literally biggest fundraiser. And when we get some of the best folks involved, again, you say that, again, this is taken, perhaps we have asked a little bit more than other clients that you have. We find the best chairs, folks like Michelle and Megan, because, again, they've been involved in the past. They have so many friends here in the Dallas area, and they are involved in other philanthropic endeavors, and they are some of the best educated in terms of what works and what doesn't work. So we truly put that to our best benefit. And finding someone like you, Mike, knowing that you've got the experience, you've got the know-how. We're no dummies. We know what we don't know, and we ask those who are experts and pull them into it. So the Bishop's Gala for us, again, is not just a time when we are raising dollars, we're also raising awareness. We're letting other people know that, again, 90 cents of every dollar that you contribute to Catholic Charities goes to the client. We are very efficient and very effective with our dollars. We owe that to our donors, and we think it's very important at something like the Bishop's Gala that we educate them on where have those dollars gone, who are the kinds of people that we've helped. And you'll see at this gala we have highlighted 4 of our clients that represent those areas that I spoke to earlier, Mike. We're going to have someone who, again, is a resident of St. Jude's Center. He's going to talk about the fact that it was surprisingly easy to fall into homelessness, but it's like climbing Mount Everest to get out of homelessness. We're going to have a client who, she and her family have benefited greatly from the early learning, the jobs she's gotten, the benefits her children have derived from being a part of that education program. We've got a beautiful lady who is part of one of the parishes that our mobile food pantries makes one of the stops there, and she'd have difficulty eating or finding food if she wasn't. One quote from this dear sweet lady was, they asked her, what did you do when there was no money, when there was no food and you were hungry? And she said, I would boil water and I would drink this warm water and pretend it was soup. So sad. And then we have, again, we help disaster victims. We have an individual whose home and business were destroyed in the most recent Dallas tornadoes. And in the blink of an eye, one evening, he lost his home, he lost his business, he had nowhere to go and no one to turn to. And he tells his story about being found by Catholic Charities.
You made a comment earlier. I was going to interact, but you were on a roll, so I didn't stop you. But you talked about the food desert. What's that? Describe it.
Food desert, again, as described in Dallas Morning News, Mayor Mike Rawlings and our current mayor, is an area where people can't find the grocery stores like the great Tom Thumbs or the Central Markets or the Krogers. It's areas of South Dallas and West Dallas where people struggle to find good, healthy, fresh foods or foods that they can afford. And oftentimes they don't have the transportation to travel to other parts of Dallas or the gas to pay for that travel. And so the more that we can take those foods into their areas, the better. And many of our programs, our senior programs, our early education programs, those include meals for these people. So they're free programs, they're free food. We send them home with food for the weekends for those children who would not normally have foods on Saturday and Sunday as well. So food and that nourishment, both body and, again, mental nourishment, is all a very important part of Catholic Charities and what we provide.
It's interesting that you say that, talking about the food opportunities. I have a really good friend down in New Orleans, in the toughest area, just east of downtown, and they were most affected by Katrina. Mm-hmm. And this young man, we've assisted our company when we had our convention. We had our national convention, United Country Real Estate and United Real Estate. We had our both back-to-back conventions in New Orleans, and when we had that, we chose a charity at that time, and he was our charity. He had been in the military. He came back from Germany after Katrina in an area that was decimated. I mean, just wiped off. And there's all these pockets of people in these houses, and there's no food. There's no grocery stores. Wow. There's nothing. Wow. And to the point that you would have to take 3 buses to get a gallon of milk or bread or vegetables. And so he has taken it, and he was featured on CBS Sunday Morning about his little store. His name is Burnell Cotlin, and Burnell's my buddy. And he actually attended my auction school here in Dallas. I gave him a free scholarship. I told him, I said, he was listed as one of the top 10 people in New Orleans, up-and-comers. Mm-hmm. And so he's an influencer. And when you said food desert, that's exactly what he and you don't think of Dallas, Texas, as that there's any way you could have a problem finding food. Mm-hmm. You would never. I mean, I'm telling you, 90% of the people in Dallas, Texas don't have a clue how bad some things are for some people. Yep. Now, the news media, for the most part, they do highlight a lot of things, about drives and the North Texas Food Pantry and all. And I've worked and I've done auctions for all of those groups. But I've learned more about Catholic Charities this past year, than I ever did before. Even though I had done the event many years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, probably was 15 years ago, I didn't know all the services because I was not as educated about what all you do. But when you start talking about homeless, it's pretty amazing. It's an eye-opener.
It's incredible. And you look at the prosperity of Dallas, the cranes, they're everywhere. The people moving into Frisco, the major corporate headquarters moving here, and the incredible
restaurants.
Exactly.
Yes. Right.
And yet there are more than 4,000 homeless, and an incredible number of people that are food insecure. They don't know where that next meal is coming from. And our challenge is letting people know Catholic Charities is here to help you. We are the call for all in need. If we can't help you, if there's one area you're challenged with that we can't help with, we'll find out and let you know where we can find you help.
So, and we're going to get to the gala. We're still working on that. But I want people to know about your services. So if someone's out there that's watching this that needs those services, or here's the other thing. A lot of time, it's somebody that needs those services. It's not necessarily you that have the challenge, but you have someone in your sphere that is on the verge, or maybe one job away from being homeless or hungry or whatever. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of Catholic Charities, how would they do that?
Very simply, we have a website, ccdallas.org, as in CatholicCharitiesDallas.org, ccdallas.org. And, of course, our phone number that's right there on the website as well. And you're right, there are so many people that come to us saying, I had a friend, or someone heard about you in church, or someone saw a flyer at a library or a police station or one of these areas saying Catholic Charities is there to help. Just make the call, and our receptionists are wonderful. Whatever you're calling in for, whatever you come by for, we'd love to be of assistance. And
to repeat again what we talked about earlier, you don't have to be Catholic.
no.
You know, this is a humanitarian effort. This is not a religious effort. No. This is a humanitarian effort.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the gala. So the gala's been going. This is the 22nd year, I believe.
It is
22nd year. We're going to have this at the Anatole.
The Anatole, January 11th. Doors will open at 5:30. Again, an incredible evening. Tickets begin at $375 or a table of 10 for $37.50 and go from there. If you wish to have larger sponsorships, we'd love to have you. We anticipate well over 1,000. That's what we had last year. Our
Nice
goal
crowd.
is $2 million. And when Michelle and her husband were our chairs last year, we exceeded that $2 million goal. We were very excited.
Great.
So it will be of an evening where we have incredible items on what we call the big board or silent auction. We have an amazing live auction that you're going to make an incredible success for us, and Michelle and Megan have put together an incredible list of items for that live auction. Our entertainment that evening is Gladys Knight, and she's not just someone who sings; she is truly, Mike, an entertainer. We've heard great things about her.
I have too.
An incredible dinner that the Anatole put on, as well as open bar, and really an incredible evening for a $375 ticket. You can come and contribute.
If you have either a group of friends, family members, or a corporate opportunity to see Gladys Knight, and of course she is a musical icon in our country and around the world, 7-time Grammy winner. I mean, you forget some of the songs that she's played.
Yes,
I mean, you can
yes.
automatically think of a couple, but then you go into, if you look at her musical catalog, it's over the top, and I've heard nothing but great things about her, and she still looks young.
Incredible.
Yeah,
she
she looks
does.
young.
Yes.
So she's doing good. I don't know. Of course, back in the day, it was Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Right.
And Gladys Knight, I don't know if there's any Pips involved, but she can carry the stage. She doesn't need any help.
No.
So that's going to be an exciting night. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
I go to a lot of musical events, and she's somebody that I've always wanted to see. So, she's bringing the Motown sound and on a very high level.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a great night. So let's talk about some of these great items that we have, and I know you've got a list, and I want to just mention all of them because we're on the air, we have the time, and I want people to know some of the cool things that we have in the auction and what we're going to be selling and things people have an opportunity to buy. So do you want me to kick it off, or you want to kick it off?
Well, the first one, I came from that golf industry, and of course, it's one of my favorites, Club Corp, that owns and operates so many of the high-end private clubs here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have donated, again, a round of golf for a foursome at every one of their private clubs here in the area, like the Stonebriars and Stonebridges, the Tiburons, the Glen Eagles. So Mike, if you have 3 folks you want to play golf with, this would be 10 rounds, one at each of these really great clubs. Or you could split them up. You purchase this, you could entertain clients, you could have it as a birthday celebration for someone. And then to top it off, this is an unusual package. Their beautiful tower club that sits atop the Thanksgiving Tower in downtown Dallas. They have golf simulators. So to celebrate the culmination of the rounds, or if you want to celebrate someone's birthday or have a business meeting and do something fun afterwards, you have 2 hours on the golf simulators and dinner for 3 foursomes, 12 people at the Tower Club. So an incredible golf package that anyone who enjoys golf and enjoys sharing it with their friends or business associates, this is for them.
Yep. That is the ultimate golf package in Dallas.
Exactly.
It really is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
And then the second item, I know you no great auction event in Dallas, no great fundraiser would happen without something relating to wine and California.
You bet.
So tell me about it.
So this is one of the kind of package, because we literally, one of our very special donors, I had reached out to Dominic Fapoli. He is the mayor of Windsor. He owns Christopher Creek Winery, and he's very much involved with Catholic Charities as well out in his area. And there's a beautiful estate home in the midst of Christopher Creek Winery that is not open to the public. He uses it for special charities like Catholic Charities and others to raise money. And so this package is 4 days and 3 nights, and it can sleep up to 3 couples there at the estate home. The fun thing is that he himself, who is so well known in terms of his knowledge and experience in the wine country himself, is actually going to be conducting a special VIP wine tasting for the 3 couples, a wine pair dinner at the estate home, and then he's going to call his buddies there in Sonoma and set up special wine tastings at his favorite wineries across the wine country. So literally, I think a lot of people don't just look for a trip to Sonoma, they look for an experience, and Mike, he will almost guarantee this will be an unmatched experience in Sonoma Valley.
Yeah, I think so. I have never sold this, and of course, I've sold a lot of things over the years, but this is not one that I'm familiar with, and so I think it's going to be phenomenal, and I look forward to hearing whoever purchases this. I look forward to hearing how much fun they had, because rarely do you get negative feedback from a great trip.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong going to the Sonoma Valley.
Especially when the mayor's setting it up for you, right? You know?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's like the mayor of Whoville. Christmas time.
Exactly. And Mike, the next package is something that Megan Martinez is responsible for. We started this last year in terms of the question, what do you do that's new and different for Valentine's Day? Well, Megan, tell them what we did last year.
Last year, I worked with Live, and one of the goals I always have is to try to do things that everyone can afford. You go to the galas, and we have young people attend,
sure,
and we have all spectrums. So, but sometimes there's not in live auction something that's we want things to go for $5,000 and $10,000 to help
sure.
our clients. But I thought, why don't we do something where more people could participate and get more involved in Catholic Charities? So we went to the bishop, and he agreed to do like a vow renewal for Valentine's. And we did it at the cathedral. And then we went across the street to the Petroleum Club for a reception.
Nice.
And you held up a paddle, and we had...
we had 60 couples attend, 120, and it was a wonderful evening.
It was
very
beautiful.
special Valentine's evening.
Beautiful. It was the day before Valentine's, I think. This year it's on Valentine's. So it's going to be more of just Love Works.
Yep.
Like our program.
Well, it's an opportunity for, it goes back to your theme this year. What's your theme?
Love works.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so it's going to work on Valentine's Day for a lot of couples.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that, very much so. Santa Fe, Getaway.
With Santa Fe package, interestingly enough, a lot of Texans love to get away for just a weekend.
They love Santa
that's
Fe.
right.
Skip
And
and
love
jump to
Santa
Santa Fe.
Yep.
And the beauty of this package, this is one that we've also included 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines. They've contributed that for us out of their generosity.
Thank you, Southwest.
And also the package, one of the finest hotels there in the midst of Santa Fe is the Rosewood Inn of the Anastasio, just in the midst of everything there. Really a great area. And then our development committee chair, Steve Sullentrop, and his wife Betty secured for us incredible tickets for the opera. And in Santa Fe, the fun thing is that you can get tickets and use them for any of the operas. So total flexibility in terms of when you book your reservation at the hotel, use your tickets on Southwest Airlines, and then
Southwest Airlines, the Love Airline.
the Love Airline. Good job, Mike. Good job. Love works. Love in action here. So really a fun getaway where you can enjoy the opera, stay at one of the finest hotels, and really enjoy Southwest Airlines getting there.
Santa Fe, of course, you mentioned being a great getaway, but it's one of the great art centers of the United States. I think if you haven't been there, it will amaze you. I was in Santa Fe probably about 3 months ago, and I've gone there for events and been a part of the community, and have a lot of friends that live in the area or have a second home there. But for anyone who wants to get the ultimate Santa Fe experience, I'd say this is about as good as it gets.
It's set up exactly, absolutely. You're going to also see, Mike, that we have a number of our priests, a Monsignor and a bishop. We have an all-star lineup because these folks are incredibly supportive of Catholic Charities. They see our works in action with their parishioners, with the people in the diocese. Again, not just Catholics, but all others who hear about Catholic Charities, and they're very proud of that. And whenever we call and say, Father Tony Lackland has an incredible voice, the singing priest, and Michele actually was. You'll see here that it's paired with this a wonderful dinner at the Park Cities Club. Michele and her husband actually had one of these packages last year. Michele, you want to tell us a little bit about it? How was that evening?
Absolutely. It's a fabulous package. Father Tony's incredible. He's been a musician for his whole life, I think. But you're able to have a limousine ride to the Park Cities Club, and you're way up above the skyline of Dallas, and you get to see the sunset, and it's just a beautiful night, and the food is incredible. And then Father Tony, does several songs for you. It's just amazing. So yeah.
I think it's interesting for the folks out there who are not Catholic. They see priests, and they don't realize they actually have personalities.
Right, exactly. Yes.
And I think with these dinners, and of course, and I've worked with both dioceses in the last 30 years and have sold different opportunities, and every diocese has different personalities.
Right.
And so they're very giving. Quite frankly, even though they do their duties, they do what they have to do. They're very good at that, but they all have special talents that nobody knows about.
They do.
And a lot of them are musicians. And so I love seeing them, and a lot of times they come on stage with me, and you can see the exuberance come out of them, and they're excited about it, and they're always very welcomed on stage.
Well, these folks have given their life for the lives of others, interestingly enough, and so it's an opportunity for others to show their appreciation, to have dinner with the Father Lackland, or you'll see some of the others here. Such good, devoted men, and it's wonderful to be able to thank them for their so many years and lives of service.
Sure. So then we're going to head off to Durango.
Oh, yeah, and what Texan doesn't love going to Colorado?
Yep.
I mean, we're there for the summer for the most part.
Yeah, and it's Texas West.
It is, absolutely, and they love that. This Glacier Club is just amazing. This is a 6-day, 5-night vacation to the Glacier Club, which is in Durango, Colorado. The stay's in a beautiful hospitality unit at the Glacier Club, and the folks that have been there are the first to stand up and want to bid on it as far as this year as well. They've got 2 beautiful 18-hole golf courses, championship golf courses, 2 different clubhouses. They've got tennis courts and spa and anything that you want to do right there within the Glacier Club. So an amazing 6-day, 5-night vacation for those Texans who want to escape that August heat or whenever they want to go, or enjoy the skiing during the wintertime. So truly a package that would appeal to any Texan or anyone who likes Colorado.
I was just in Durango. For those that don't know our story, United Country Real Estate has been around for almost 100 years. We're right at 100 years old. And we have about, 550 to 600 offices nationwide. We probably have 30 in Colorado. we sell ranches and we sell. We like to say we're on Main Street and we sell Main Street because it is a rural brand. And Durango, I was just in our Durango office looking at a 2,000-acre ranch out there.
Wow.
But I can tell you from personal experience, when you go to Durango, it's just like it's like having Texans operating Colorado because they're just regular, nice people.
Yeah.
It's not pretentious, and this particular package is super special. It's not something that you're just going to walk in off the street and buy.
Right.
It's not it's not available. So
Exactly.
it's a very exclusive
very
opportunity.
customized,
Yep,
exactly.
very much so. All right, and then we have the Monsignor.
And then Monsignor Milam Joseph. And interesting, you heard Michelle say earlier that her husband, had gone to Jesuit schools. Well, interestingly, Monsignor Milam Joseph was a former Jesuit Ranger wingback. Again, many of us may not know what a wingback is in terms of that, but he also was the president of the University of Dallas. So interesting gentleman, very fun. Everybody loves Monsignor Joseph. We're looking forward to this one. Very much a favorite among the Dallas clergy and very much a favorite among a lot of the folks that have gotten a chance to meet and get to know, or those who haven't heard stories from Monsignor Joseph. But this is also, you have an option as to how you'd like to entertain the group. So it's you and, again, 10 of your closest friends or business associates or people that or your neighbors, etc. So you have a choice. You can, Sevy's Restaurant has donated an incredible package, 4-course wine and food dinner, amuse-bouche, salad, seafood, meat, and dessert right there, specially planned at Sevy's. Or if indeed you prefer to entertain in your home, we have a special package from Chef John Teaser, nationally acclaimed, James Beard nominated, and Bravo's top chef contestant. So you could either go to Sevy's with Monsignor Joseph, or you could entertain in your home, and Chef Teaser will come and prepare the dinner for you.
Yep. That's going to be a great package, great package, and whoever wins that's going to. It doesn't matter which one you do. Jim does a great job with Sevy's, and John has created an image of his own here in Dallas. He hasn't been here a long time. It's funny, I say not here a long time. He's been here over 10 years, but it seems like it was just yesterday for those of us who have a very short memory. And then your next one is a good friend of mine. In fact, he's been featured. He's been featured on this podcast.
Has he?
Lance Brown, from Arlington. He's a Christian speed painter. A lot of people have seen him. He has really developed into a national artist. I noticed 2 weeks ago he was in Arizona, and he did 2 or 3 different shows and then flew back to be here in Dallas for one the next morning. The guy's phenomenal. He's got a great life story, which he told. If you get a chance to watch the show, the previous show, you can check that on your iPod app on Apple, or you can go to the YouTube channel, because we have a YouTube channel. But anybody that's interested in seeing Lance, he's got a great story.
He's amazing, and he's going to do another wonderful job for us this year. We're excited to see. Again, I understand he's also colorblind. I can't imagine that, But so he always does a fabulous presentation, and the guess is what is this year's painting and how special it's going to be. So it's a tremendous entertainment as well as a beautiful piece of art that you can take home and enjoy.
Yeah, I've worked with Lance before, and he's always a big hit. And then we're going to talk about Father Edwin Leonard and what he's going to do with the guys. And
Megan, you've assisted us with that in the past.
Yeah, Father Leonard is an expert in Scotch, and I mean the different labels.
Sure.
And he does a wonderful Scotch presentation. And the gentlemen really enjoy it. He is so full of life and
I'm sure full of stories,
full of good stories, and such a spiritual man that it just you just smile the whole night. And then some, and includes a light, not so much dinner, but appetizers, and it's a Scotch tasting, and he explains what each Scotch is and where it came from. And
it's an experience.
It is an experience. It's a fun experience that the men seem to really, really enjoy.
That'll be great. And then we have a royal dinner.
Absolutely, and interesting. This is going to be a fun one because Bishop Burns will be obviously the individual that will accompany you and your guests. And we have invited the royal chef Darren McGrady, who is the former chef to Princess Diana. Now think of the interesting stories this gentleman has to tell. So whether you're a friend of Bishop Burns or the royal family or both, this will be an exciting evening. Again, a dinner party for up to 10 guests, and it will be a fabulous evening at your home. And Chef McGrady brings his assistant as well as servers, wonderful red or white wine that will be in, whatever will be paired with the dinner. It promises to be an unforgettable, unbelievable evening for whoever bids on this one.
He is. I've worked with the chef before, and he looks like a royal chef.
Oh, really? I've never met him.
Yeah, he really does. It's like if you had a lineup and you had to pick the royal chef, you're going to go, I think it's that guy.
Right.
And it will be. But, he's written a book. He's very well accomplished. Obviously a man that's done a lot, seen a lot, internationally known. And so he'll be a great addition to this. He'll make it special. And then, of course, you'll be with the bishop, too. So that'll be great.
And what's interesting, Mike, is, again, one of our wonderful board members, former board members, Bill Sladek, was the one. He has the good friends at Sevy's, as well as the chef teaser from the other package, and he helped us line up Chef McGrady as well. So, as we said, it really makes such a difference when you have good folks like them working for you out there in the community.
Your network matters.
It
Yes,
does.
it does.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to call him a Rolodex.
That's right.
I said that the other day to one of my assistants. I said, well, just look at your Rolodex. And he looked at me like, what's a Rolodex?
Yeah.
Well, in all honesty, I bet a lot of us have that Rolodex stashed away in a closet
Oh, I still have mine.
where our
Oh, yeah.
millennials can't see them thinking,
Yes.
I'm not going to let loose of my Rolodex.
I would never get rid
Exactly.
of my Rolodex.
Right.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
It's like partying with a friend. We've got a terrific Irish vacation opportunity. I'm going to let you talk about that.
I'm excited because I am Kathleen Marie O'Neill, and perhaps one of the best journeys I've ever taken has been to the Emerald Isle, and this one truly promises to be an all-inclusive kind of package. Beginning with Guinness, I think that all packages should probably begin there, where you see a panoramic view of the city of Dublin there, but this has a VIP access to the Guinness storehouse, and then it provides you with a 6-day rental car where you yourself, at your own leisure, can begin in Dublin at the Cassidy's Hotel. We go then from there to the Old Ground Hotel in Ennis, go through Killarney at the Randall's Courthouse. Beautiful castle, the Clontarf Castle Hotel in Dublin. Of course, you'll go into the Cliffs of Moher, which are absolutely breathtaking. The Gap of Dunlow. Again, a lot of every morning the daily breakfast is included. I love those Irish breakfasts. They're not all that healthy, but boy, they sure are really good. And then booking and concierge services with all of that. So truly a package that's all encompassing that I think anybody who wants to see some of the best and finest and most interesting of Ireland would certainly enjoy.
Well, that sounds like a great trip. I actually train auctioneers from Ireland.
Really?
Yes.
wow.
And we have an organization. It's basically the Irish Auctioneers and Valuers Association. They say valuers like appraisers. They say valuers.
Interesting.
So anyway, that organization I have a partnership with, and I sponsor their rookie contest, which they call Novice. But when they have their annual convention, which is coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks, I was supposed to be there.
Wow.
I was going to go to Ireland for this convention. I didn't go last year, but I did. What I've done is I have given a scholarship for the Irish to come to our. If whoever wins their contest can then come to the United States. They underwrite the travel. I underwrite the tuition to come to Dallas, Texas, and be trained as an auctioneer.
Think of the careers you can launch. I mean, that's incredible,
It's
Mike.
fun.
Good for you.
Yeah. So there's the Irish connection.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
great.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fun stuff. We have a couple of special items too.
We do,
That'll
we
be
do.
You can mention or not. It's up to you.
Absolutely no. Gladys Knight fans, and if you're not before, you will absolutely be at the end of the evening.
Yeah.
We have 2 beautiful vintage gold microphones that we'll set up for Gladys to use probably in the practice session and then have her autograph for us. So anyone who wants a special memento from the evening, we'll have 2 of those that you can take that evening.
So you can walk away after that evening of hearing her, walk away with an autographed microphone, which I'm sure is stunning, from a 7-time Grammy Award-winning artist.
Exactly.
And I'm sure Hall of Fame. I didn't
Right.
even look into that.
Yes.
But no, it's going to be a great night. And do you have anything else you'd like to say about the event itself? I know we're expecting over 1,000 people.
Absolutely. Want to invite anyone who wants to
We have
learn more
plenty of
about
room?
Catholic. Plenty of room, please. Again, website is ccdallas.org. As you go to the website, you'll see our beautiful, Love Works Bishop's logo there. And you just click on the link there for more information and to sign up.
Do we have corporate sponsors for this?
We've had corporate sponsors. Again, some of the finest sponsors. West Park Fund Limited is our presenting sponsor. This year we have AT&T, we have PwC, some incredible sponsors, EY. Dallas is very supportive from a major corporate perspective, and we're very fortunate to have some of the larger corporate sponsors. AT&T is a part of it as well.
Sure. And then even our donors, I think that's very important. Always appreciate our donors, and whether it's a Southwest Airlines for tickets on an airplane, or Club Corp, or whoever, because here again it goes back to the network, and I would almost say it goes back to the love network. You could
That's
say
right.
that.
Yep.
It does. Yeah, and interestingly enough, these are love stories. The 4 clients that you will learn about that evening that are featured in the program, those are the folks that have benefited from the love of others and the contributions they made to improve others' lives.
When I have been at your headquarters, when I've come over to talk and visit in one of the rooms there, I always sit in the lobby for a few minutes, and you get to see the clients.
Yes.
I mean, you see them coming and going, and their families. I mean, there may be a single mom, but you see a lot of men and women and children coming and going and coming and going. I mean, I've gone over there and gotten there early and sat in my vehicle and maybe made some phone calls or something. But it's a non-stop stream of humanity coming and going out of that headquarters.
It's a safe haven as well. Interestingly enough, we have a 2-story building, and in that second story there, where most of our client services are, immigration as well as refugee services and all of that. They speak 38 different languages, Mike. So whatever language you speak, if you need someone to understand and speak to you, we can do that there at Catholic Charities.
Well, and I know one day, I mean, there are things related to the Catholic religion that are going on all the time. I mean, there's prayers going on all the time. There's meeting. One day we couldn't use a room because they were doing.
There was mass going on.
Doing mass in one of the rooms.
Right.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yes.
I've never gone to a place where I couldn't go sit in a room because mass is going on.
Exactly. And you'll find our honorary chairs, Christus Health. They're an amazing group that have, again, hospitals around the world, and they're very generous sponsors and have been a wonderful partner to Catholic Charities throughout the years.
If you don't mind, again, mentioning who our chairs are.
Absolutely. So grateful to Joni and Tom Stevens, co-chairs with Jackie and Peter Costanza. They've been wonderful chairs this year, and we're so grateful to all of them. Yvette Riccioni, our wine pool chair. Jeannie Carey is our raffle ticket chair. Live auction, of course, you've met Michelle and Megan. And then our big board chairs are Lillian Curran and Carmen Perez. Just an incredible all-star team that have been tremendously helpful.
Well, it takes, we've always heard, it takes a village.
Yes.
It takes a lot of people,
Yes.
and it takes a lot of talent, and it takes a lot of, it requires a lot of love. It really does.
It does.
I mean, the commitment from all these people coming together, because everyone's tugged. Yeah. Everyone has a life to live, and everyone's got their problems, and you just kind of have to check your problems at the door and go do what you got to do. Yeah. But your heart's full. And that's what it's all about.
And when you see these people, Mike, you may think you have problems, but when you meet those folks who are hungry, homeless, can't speak any English, trying to find a job, trying to start kindergarten, your problems are nothing compared to theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have a lot of empathy. It was really fun over the weekend. The last 3 or 4 days, I bought a little place back home where I grew up, and
where's that, Mike?
Up in Gainesville.
Gainesville.
Neat. So I live there, and I had, my mother was single. She was divorced, and I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and we we lived about a 100 square foot. We call it I think we call it a shack. It was a neat little home in the '60s, but it doesn't look like that now. It's transitioned into something else, and it was on a railroad track, literally from here to that door.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
when the train came through, it was the MKT Railroad. I kind of enjoy telling this story because it gives people a perspective that I didn't come from privilege. And so the MKT, which was the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railway, which is no longer existing, but you've heard of the Katy Trail.
Sure.
Yes.
And so anyway, this railroad ran behind our house in Gainesville, Texas, and that little bitty place is still there. And next to it, my grandparents lived in the house next to it. Now, you got to remember, in the 50s and 60s, you could live modestly, but, you kept your place up.
Yeah.
This was post-World War II. And you did the best you could with what you had, and you made it look great, whether it was great or not. So we didn't know we didn't have anything, But you were talking about taking water and drinking it and pretending it's soup. I remember my mother coming home at lunch and making carnation hot chocolate, and that was lunch.
Wow.
Or pimento cheese and spam
Yeah.
and all those delicacies like Vienna sausage.
Yeah.
And so when people look at me and they say, oh, well, you're out eating at all these nice places in Dallas all the time, I said, yeah, but that's not where I started. But now I own the property behind them.
That's
And the
great.
railroad is gone. That is now a walking trail that the city put in and named after the Medal of Honor recipients.
Oh, how
Oh,
nice.
that's wonderful.
And so it's a really neat spot, very serene right there, except when Warren Buffett's trains go through on the other side. But it's a neat little spot. But so when you talk about people that don't have a lot, I have a lot of empathy and feel a great dedication to that philanthropy. So I whether I do your event again next year or not, just know that this year I'll do everything I can to make it a great event. And I know my team will. We're dedicated. It's our first event of the year, so I'm looking forward to kicking it out. In fact, I was texting with my right-hand guy, Philip Braun, this morning, and we were talking about this event. We were talking about what we're going to wear and what color ties we're going to wear, and I said, we're kicking it off in a great place. And so, and of course, people need to remember here in Dallas, we have lots and lots of hotels, and everybody's fighting for the business, but we don't have a lot of really large hotels that can handle 1,000 people.
Yeah.
We have a lot of venues that can hold 400 or 500, but at one time, the Anatole was the only hotel big enough to handle 1,000 people. And so it'll be good to be at the Anatole, and we of course will appreciate the staff there and all the things that they do. You start looking behind the scenes, we have to pay them a lot of money to be there,
True.
but then they do a lot to make things work well.
It's
They
the
do.
experience, Mike, and that's why we're so grateful to you for being a part of that, because it's not just an auction. You bring a whole experience to that auction. You bring it to life, and you bring the dollars. People feel good about, responding to your requests out there in the audience. The Meet the Need portion, where we talk about our 4 clients and how it is real. These are people that are experiencing that. So much times we read stories, but when you meet the people and you hear their incredible gratitude for changing their lives, and the homeless individual will tell you all that we're looking for is just a hand up. And Catholic Charities, because of our incredibly generous donors and contributors, is able to give that hand up to so many people. Again, 50,000 that we touched last year.
Surely. So this is the 2020 Bishop's Gala,
Yes.
benefiting Catholic Charities Dallas. And why don't you give us the website one more time?
ccdallas.org. And right there as you go to that is the beautiful LoveWorks logo that will take you straight to the website. And also on that website will be a number that you can call. Tickets begin at $375. And again, that provides that evening an incredible meal. The live auction, you heard about all of our fabulous items. Big board, which is the silent auction, wine pull, $50 bottles of wine that we guarantee will be at value $50 or more, some of them going for $300 retail value. As we said, open bar. car as well. So an incredible bargain for $375.
Sure.
Come and support a good charity.
Well, we're excited
Yes.
about being a part of it. And so, of course, United Classic Auctioneers, which is our firm, we're excited about being there with you and having a good time and checking out Gladys Knight and watching her entertain and be a
You
part of
bet.
this evening. It's going to be a great night in Dallas. And Megan and Michelle, thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mike.
Kathy, thank you for being here.
Our pleasure, Mike.
And Travis, thank you for doing your job. The cameras are still running. The computers are still up. The lights are still on. All is good in Travis land. All right. Well, that's it for us. And so we look forward to seeing you again. This is our last show for 2019. We wish you a very, very happy New Year. And we hope you have a blessed holiday. Be safe. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. We'll see you next year. On behalf of everybody at the Mike McGavel Jones Show here in Dallas, God bless. We'll see you next time, and we bid you adieu from Dallas.